I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club. Ooh.
New sign who dis today?
Scorpio, baby. Scorpio. Yeah, this is a big one.
Let's get into it.
Let's just get right in. So before we do that, though, I know you're suffering an ailment currently, and I think that we should talk about this because I believe that it ties directly into some of today's topic.
Isn't that crazy how that just seems to happen? And I want to say just happens to us, but that's not true.
No, it can't be just us, but
I'm sure it's not.
Definitely is us.
It definitely is. Yes, my hand is ailing. I don't know what happened to it. Mm-hmm. It hurts really badly right in the middle of my palm. That's your palm. Yeah.
She has a stigmata injury.
I do.
And how did this injury come about?
I went to...
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Was it mysteriously?
Perhaps.
What happened?
Still mysterious. I went to sleep, I woke up, and my hand hurt. Very badly.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a mystery.
It completely is.
And I'm not a doctor, but to be very clear, I have examined her hand.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with the hand.
No.
And yet
it ails me.
It does.
Yes.
She's literally, like, earlier today, like, doing something normal. And she's like, ow, like, it hurts.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like a wounded kitten. There's like a story, like, with a lion, with the thing in his paw.
Yeah,
like a thorn in his paw. And then, like, a mouse helps him get it out, right?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that it's a fable.
Is that an Aesop's fable?
I think it's an Aesop's fable, and I'm pretty sure you're supposed to learn something from it. And perhaps the moral of that fable is something I'm supposed to learn.
What is the moral of that fable?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I would be the lion, which is unusual because typically you're the lion.
Well, I am a Leo.
Yeah.
And you, my darling, are a Scorpio.
I am, indeed.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
So, as long as you are feeling physically able to, let's get on with our Scorpio discussion.
Let's do it. It'll keep my mind off of it anyway.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, yes, as we have said, you are a Scorpio.
I am.
That is your sun sign.
It is my sun sign, yes.
So, I share one of my favorite things that remind me of Scorpio energy.
I would love to hear this.
Okay.
I cannot wait.
So this is a sort of, not a movie quote so much as a little snippet of a scene from a movie, which I think most people are familiar with, but I know you're familiar with. It's classic musical starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, well.
Grease, right?
Love.
So there's a part in the movie where Sandy and Danny are, like, finally together, and Rizzo and Kaniki, sort of friend group couple, they are broken up.
Oh,
and they are angry.
Very dramatically.
And it's the big dance at the school, the big boppers there, the whole thing. Yeah. And to make each other jealous, Kaniki and Rizzo come to the dance with other people.
Yeah.
And so Kaniki comes with this girl from a neighboring high school, but, she looks like she's like 36.
Yeah, they're all like 40 years old in this movie.
I know. So he's introducing her.
Yeah.
And she's introducing herself. And she says, they call me Cha-Cha because I'm the best dancer at St. Bernadette's. And then Frenchie says, with the worst reputation.
Yes.
And that, for me, encapsulates Scorpio energy.
I love that.
The entire
scene.
Thing.
Both
Yes.
characters.
Both characters, both vibes, the entire thing.
I love that.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I love that. And I remember that scene well. And it's part of the movie that I really like. And, like, obviously we have a lot of that movie memorized. I mean, who doesn't? We've seen it a million times. But, and we all have our favorite scenes. But that's definitely one of mine. So that's fun. I love it. I've never heard anyone describe it that way before.
Well, now that's all you'll think about.
That is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is such Scorpio energy. It's
But I also want to say the other reason that it is Scorpio energy is because, Cha-Cha's like, with the she has the worst reputation. And then she acts pretty shady at the dance.
It's
true. She steals Danny away from Sandy because she wants to win the trophy. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little Scorpio energy there, too.
Yeah, it is. And she actually is a really good dancer, so...
She's an amazing dancer. That's also true. She really is the best dancer at St. Bernadette.
She probably is.
You can tell.
I mean, St. Bernadette's, I'm sure she is.
Yeah, it's probably not that many good dancers
there. Yeah, I'm sure she's the best one.
Yeah, so...
That's great. I love that.
Good. I'm glad you approve.
I very much do. As a Scorpio, I endorse this message. I approve.
Good. So, all right, what are the other sort of basic qualities
Scorpio
of
basics.
Scorpio energy? Scorpio basics.
Yes.
Scorpios are not usually basic, though. So.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But yes, another interesting combination of things, kind of like when we were talking about Libra, the combination of energies, fixed water sign.
Yes, with night energy. So I think... Right away, though, yes, it's always an interesting, whatever the combination is, always an interesting combination.
Sure.
But for me, it's a little more consistent than, for example, Libra, when we were talking about how kind of all of those kind of seemed like sometimes they clashed or were like kind of difficult to maybe combine.
Right.
Whereas for me, the fixed water night, it seems a little more cohesive. What do you think?
That's actually true. I hadn't thought that through, but that's actually true because I think I was getting stuck on the fixed nature of water and sort of that not being what I typically think of when when you think of water energy. But now that you phrase it that way, that does make a lot of sense. I mean, standing pools of water or even ice.
Yeah. Well, and also like how in the quadruplicities episode where we were talking about the modalities and that fixed energy kind of being like fixed on one point and like very just like stable, direct going towards that point. You can think about like river flowing to the ocean and it's just flowing in that direction, very like
purposeful.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also feel like water and night energies are very, sort of complementary, like kind of about, emotions or the soul or kind of the, underneath kind of parts of human existence.
Absolutely. And sort of the connection to the moon and the water with the moon and the moon being associated with night. I feel like that all matches and the calmness of that as well for Scorpio.
Yeah. But would you really say that calmness is one of the main descriptors of Scorpio energy?
No, not yes and no. I mean, most people would say no, but I think that there's an underrated, maybe calm is not the right word, but there's definitely an underrated sort of gathered up kind of energy that we're able to keep behind the scenes really well. I think people notice when it's not, and so that's what they sort of point to as like, oh, that's Scorpio energy. But when it's not being shown, I mean, people aren't seeing it, but it's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it's kind of that depth element where, and again, with water, you can only really see so far down. If water's really deep, you can't. It's dark. You can't see down there,
right.
And
I feel like we can make the surface look really glassy and calm and smooth. And that may not really be reflecting what's happening underneath. But I think that is a quality that is there for sure.
Well, and not only that, the depths can remain quite calm even when there's like waves and tumultuous kind of looking on the surface too.
That's true too.
So
both ways.
Man, yes. That's good stuff.
Cool.
Good stuff.
I agree.
I think we should mention also kind of what are the birthday dates if you're kind of looking at if you are a Scorpio sun sign.
Right. So yeah, end of October to kind of end of November, of course, depending on the year. But yeah, October 21st to November 20th would be the last day.
Yeah.
Scorpio.
So as of this recording, we are not precisely in Scorpio season yet, but I think when this is released, it definitely will be.
Yeah.
So we're also feeling that transition from, Libra season into Scorpio season today, I believe.
Nights are getting longer.
Yeah.
More night.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. What else would you like to say as a Scorpio about Scorpio energy?
I'm the spokesperson for...
You are the poster
I'm the
girl for Scorpio energy as of right now.
That's a lot of responsibility.
You can handle it. You're a Scorpio.
I love the vote of confidence. Spoken like a Leo.
I'm like, you can
to
do it.
any other sign. You got it. You can handle it. We're like, yes, no, you're right. We can handle it. It's funny though, now that I'm saying that, Leo, I think there oftentimes when people maybe aren't as into astrology as much, they think that Scorpio is a fire sign. And I think I mentioned this on one of the other episodes, that Scorpio is often associated with fire.
Yeah. But it's not a fire sign.
It's not a fire sign. I think people just equate passion with fire. And so they sort of think of those two as being synonymous, but no, we're just emotional.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
I think Scorpios also, I would go out maybe on a limb and say that my impression is Scorpios are the most judged and hated sign.
Yeah, I want to agree with that, and I feel like people are going to be like, oh, because you are a Scorpio, so of course you say that. And I think every sign in some way, shape, or form is thrown shade for sure.
Of course, and there's judgments and sort of stereotypical presentations or just kind of those, expectations.
Absolutely. But yeah, Scorpio, I think, is one of the most misunderstood.
Absolutely. And I think the image of the scorpion, which is the representational image of Scorpio, is obviously the scorpion. I think that really lends to misunderstanding.
That's so accurate. That really is accurate because you think of, the creature it's associated with, and you think of, oh, they're just like lying in wait to sting you.
Exactly.
They're constantly just searching to do that. That's the whole purpose, right?
Yeah, they're just waiting to do that to you. Yeah, exactly.
Which is not true.
No, and just even scorpions themselves, like the animal, like they're hiding because they're prey for a lot of, other animals or potentially.
Absolutely.
And they have that stinger because they need to protect themselves.
Absolutely. And I feel like this just occurred to me. Because I was going to mention something with this, but now that you brought that up, I feel like I know this isn't really what a scorpion, the animal, does, but I feel like not just protect themselves, but protect others. Scorpios are fiercely loyal to others, especially those they really care about,
Well, and I know that, especially from you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very strongly motivated by that.
Yeah.
Especially so for those that we care about, that's like an unbreakable thing. But I think even it goes beyond that too. Like it may not be about affection, but if it's the right thing, like if we feel that this is right to defend, we will.
Yeah, and unapologetically.
I feel like there's a lot of, it's not just loyalty in terms of like devotion and love. It's loyalty to a set of values that we feel really, really convicted about. And I think that's another aspect of sort of that fixed energy. Like when we do, we're water, we're flowy, but when we do decide, it's unwavering at that point. And we will use that stinger if we need to.
Yeah. Well, and then that water image that I mentioned, that melting ice crystal.
Yes.
It's kind of like, that's like a very like stabby object, you know?
Stabby object.
It's like a melting ice crystal. It's like, that's sharp, you know? And it's also so much transformation of literally the ice becoming water, and then obviously if it's like dropping but it's also evaporating, it's kind of all of those things rolled into one. And I don't know, I just feel like you could see someone using, I don't know.
Yes. I can see it. I I can absolutely see that. I very much resonate with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's interesting how much symbology there is with Scorpio. There is a lot of depth to almost every single piece of symbology that is associated with Scorpio.
So the reason Scorpios get so much hate is partially, I think, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But I think partially it's because of maybe interactions with Scorpios who have been very fierce.
True.
And very passionate. And if you are sort of on the wrong end of that, yeah, you might not like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you know, the other side of that is maybe not paid attention to as much because you're not seeing what's happening underneath the surface. But then you only get to the point where you see it and then it is a big show. And yeah, we do get there. And okay, I don't know if this is a good time to mention this, but I definitely want to, because we've had a lot of conversations about this, and I remember talking to you about this a long time ago, about how, and I sort of felt like I told you that I identified with a light switch kind of analogy, and that when I hit my breaking point with someone, that it's like a light switch and I just turn it off and I do not care anymore. Just, you're done. It's done. Absolutely done that fast. And I remember thinking, yeah, that resonates and that makes so much sense. And then you were like, no, that's not true. That's not accurate. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, tell me more.
What did I tell you about you?
Make this make sense for me, please. You told me that instead of a light switch, you saw it as a series of doors. And you said that there is a door that is closest to, I think you said like authentically me, like, or who, just like who I really am, or just the closest, like deepest part of me.
Yes.
And then there's like a series of doors that sort of graduate out from there. And you said that when someone violates or harms me or someone close to me, or just any of those sort of values we talked about, that door that's closest to me just shuts. It just shuts like forever, like welded shut forever. But there's just a few more doors, but they can never get there anymore. They can get there. And then if I shut that one, then they can get this close. And if I shut that one, it's completely done.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I was like, yep, that's the most accurate thing I've ever heard about me and how I feel about things. And it just was so accurate. The light switch thing you're absolutely right. I mean, I was reducing myself down to that and not even honoring, like, no, I don't do that. There are plenty of chances given and,
and you're not unreasonable, you know? Yeah.
No.
Oh, I love that I told you that, and that I think it's, you know, what's more, I don't know, I feel very emotional, like, when I'm hearing you, and I think partially it's because, like, it was us in a conversation we had a long time ago and all of that, but I also feel like, you know, Scorpios are so emotional, and they can be so vulnerable because of that. And so that need to self-protect and kind of like build in layers of that. Like, I don't know, it's very touching. It's like really sweet.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's that sweetness or that sweet side that like doesn't really get talked about a lot with Scorpio or noticed a lot. I mean, people will talk about the sensuality and the warmth in that way, but not really that vulnerability and that sweetness. And like, partially it's probably because we don't show that to everybody. We don't want to do that. I mean, I obviously show it to you, but you're one of very few people that would know that. So,
and I feel very, very fortunate because of that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really though, true. There is like this quiet intensity to Scorpio energy.
Yep. Very intense. It can be very intense inside of here.
Yeah.
But we really just love so hard and feel so hard. Like everything.
It's like, seriously, I'm gonna cry.
I didn't expect it. Like, I didn't expect to feel that way about it when I was even talking about it. Or
you know what's so funny? I think you expected to come into this conversation like defending Scorpio.
yeah, probably.
Like, I'm gonna defend Scorpios. We're the worst reputation. People always talk crap about us, all this stuff. And like, here you are, a little bit defending, but also like just going super vulnerable and going like, oh, we're so soft underneath and we're so deep. And like, it's true. And I'm like, see, you thought you were going to be all like, defense. But you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm actually pretty proud of that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's like the true spirit of Scorpio energy. You know, there is this sense of like, yes, I need to defend and I can defend and I can, you know, whatever, hurt someone and I can have this exterior shell. But there's this super soft, super sweet. I mean, any creature that has an exoskeleton, it's because they're protecting themselves, all their soft, like, inside stuff, you know? And it's all in there. So, I don't know. I think this is, like, very beautiful and accurate about Scorpio energy.
Same. I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing to be a Scorpio.
Oh, is it?
I don't know why I said it's amazing.
Because it is amazing.
It actually is.
I think you're amazing, and you are a Scorpio. So I really like Scorpios in general as well. Yes, of course, mainly I think about you, but I love Scorpio energy. I'm not afraid of it. I don't feel like it's weird. I don't feel like it's scary. I think, you know, how we've talked about before with Libra, and as we will with the further signs as we go on in the series, there's like skillful and unskillful presentations of this energy. Yeah. So in the unskillful presentations, there can be destructive, self-destructive, there can be violence, there can be aggression, possessiveness, cruelty, secretiveness. Yeah, I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. But then skillfully, like, that's that kind of fierce, you know, defense of yourself and others, and sort of a rejection of, you know, other people, you know, trying to tell you who you are. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of transformation and probing and looking into things and questioning, you know, yourself or things. A lot of that healing energy too is present with Scorpio energy. It's like shamanistic, deep, like underwater kind of healing. It's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, we're not afraid to kind of break things down and build things back up.
Well, and again, I think this has been mentioned previously in an episode, but the Phoenix, along with the Scorpion, are really associated with Scorpio. And the Phoenix that's literally the image, is it catches fire, burns to ashes, and rebuilds itself from those ashes. And it does that over and over and over. Like, that's the most transformative thing.
I've always resonated with that image. That's why I have the tattoo that says "Set Me on Fire." I've always really resonated with that.
What else do you have? Oh, can I ask you?
Oh, yeah.
So I think, at least for me, much anticipated, based on what you said in our Libra episode.
Yeah, that's right.
That Libra is the tumbler of the zodiac wheel.
I stand by that statement.
You go ahead.
You go right ahead with that.
What is your proclamation about Scorpio?
I get to make a proclamation. I love it. I put a lot of thought into this. Other signs occurred to me more immediately, and this one I put a lot more. Go ahead.
She wanted me to pick it.
Stop.
And I was like, no, you're picking it. I know it's about you, or, you know, you as a Scorpio. I'm like, no, you need to pick. I'm not picking.
But I like to make you pick for me.
No, I only pick for myself. We'll get to that.
You made me do it. And so I did. I thought about it, and I'm going with Snapchat.
Oh, my God. Yes. That's really good.
Yeah. I feel like
that's really good.
Yeah, that's the Scorpio energy. Like, I'll
100%.
I'll show you, but it's gonna, you can't save it.
Yeah, it's gonna disappear.
It's gonna disappear. You thought you saw.
And if you screenshot, I'm gonna know.
Thank you. That was gonna be my next point. And if you mess with the intention of what it's supposed to be, I will know. I will know when.
I will never trust you again. I will not send you those things again.
I will figure out everything else about your life.
Yes.
Because that's the other thing. Like, you want to know something about someone? Oh, we'll figure it out.
And there's also, like, the streaks. you know, which is like that loyalty kind of thread. Oh, this is good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, Snapchat.
Scorpio is the Snapchat of the zodiac.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, good.
And as the spokesgirl, spokesperson.
As the poster child for...
You said I could make proclamations.
Yes,
so
you're literally representing all Scorpios in the entire world right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay. If you disagree with that or disagree with the social media app that I chose, you can tell me, but I'm not going to change my mind. I'm a fixed
You wouldn't
water
because
sign.
You're a Scorpio.
That's right. I'm not going to change it.
No, not at all. Is there anything else to add about Scorpio energy that we have forgotten that is important? Because I think we have said a lot, and I think it's been like a very enlightening and lovely conversation, honestly.
I agree, and it went different directions than I thought it was going to go, and I love that. I feel like that's also inherently kind of Scorpio.
Yeah.
Went different directions, and yet we're here.
Yeah.
Swimming through it.
In the right place.
Yeah, and it's great. No,
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, and I would love to hear from other people what they think about it, and other Scorpios or people that love Scorpios, people that hate Scorpios, whatever it might be.
Yes. So I think that sort of concludes the Scorpio edition of New Sign Hoodis. And we want to remind you that we love everyone in all signs, or at least we don't not love you because of your sign.
Dumb Witch Club is written and produced by us, Ashley Sidner
and Jackie Gerard at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Creative Director and Culture Consultant, Violet Turner.
Original music by Ashley Sidner. And look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.